Hey, what's up everyone? TJ here. Today we're out at Copper testing out a new snowboard for the 23-24 season, the Spring Break Resort Twin. Let's check it out. All right, for reference, before I jump into the tech, I'm 5'10", I weigh around 155 pounds, and I'm riding this snowboard in a 156. And as the name suggests, this board is going to be a true twin with a more freestyle focused design from Spring Break. It's like the little brother to the Powder Twin. So if you're a fan of the Spring Break brand, but you're looking for a more traditional style board at more traditional widths, this is going to be the board for you. It's still fairly wide. The 156 comes in at 25.8 centimeters at the waist, but they're not adding width just to increase the volume and add more float. So it's going to have a much more traditional feel to it, going to feel more like a Capita style resort board or park board. This board runs a camber dominant profile. You're going to get positive camber through the main body of the snowboard out past the insert packs. We're just going to switch to reverse camber and blend out to the contact points to give you a little bit more leverage for presses and things like that, as well as making turn initiation a little bit easier and smoother, and then going out to their flat kick tips. You're also going to get a significant amount of carbon built into this snowboard. You're going to find 4 30mm wide strips running from the tip kind of near the contact point diagonally towards the insert packs. So that's going to give the board a more responsive feel, going to give it more snap and energy and pop as well, while keeping things lightweight. And if you've spent any amount of time on Spring Break snowboards, you know that they're known to be very lightweight, and the Resort Twin is no exception. This board is noticeably lightweight with a Poplar Polonia Beach blend core. It's always nice to see that, making things a little bit more maneuverable and just keeping things lighter under your feet. You're also going to find what they call their death grip side cut. So right in the middle of the side cut between your feet, there's actually like a negative side cut that creates a little bit of a bump that's going to help bite down on more icy firm conditions and help give you a little bit more control, a little bit more of a confident feel when things get firm and a little bit more treacherous out there. So I think today's actually going to be a great day to feel that out. Also want to quickly mention the fiberglass layup in this snowboard. So it's going to be a triax fiberglass layer up top. So that's 3 directions of fiberglass. It's a little bit sturdier, a little bit stiffer torsionally, and a biax layer underneath the core. So should be a pretty responsive feel and a good amount of power torsionally to keep you in control for more all mountain resort exploring as well. But I think this board's going to be a lot of fun out in the park today here at Copper. And last thing is this board does run a centruded base, so it's an extruded base material, going to be less maintenance. You're not going to have to worry about waxing this board as often to maintain a nice consistent glide out there. And it also is going to stand up to at-home repairs better. So if you get any deep scratches in the board and you want to do a quick P-Tex repair at home, it's going to hold up a little bit better compared to a sintered base. And that's it for a quick tech breakdown out here. We're going to get these laps going. I'll check back in with you guys later and give some feedback on how this thing feels out on snow. Guys, the Resort Twin isn't a particularly aggressive snowboard. It's got right around a mid flex, or maybe just a little bit on the stiffer side of medium. It's going to give you that traditional camber feel and have a good bit of stability to it. But the reverse camber that you're going to find in the nose and tail are going to help give up nice presses and give the board a much more forgiving feel overall, which is a lot of fun for flat tricks and butters if you're into that. So this board can still be a lot of fun for that stuff. And it's got some decent pop to it as well. You know, you're going to find those fat carbon strips in the nose and tail to help give you a little bit more out of those reverse camber zones and load up more tension through the traditional camber part of the board. So I don't think the energy is going to be an area where you find this board is lacking. And when it comes to freestyle riding and getting park laps, I think that's one area where the lightweight construction of this snowboard really stands out, giving it a very nice maneuverable feel underfoot. And generally this board is very versatile in the park. It's really going to be a good time regardless of what you throw at it. It jibs well, it presses, it's got the stability to step up to some jumps and feel good on the approach to all kinds of features. And really, if you have some experience in the park, I think you're gonna agree that this board is very versatile as well. Whether you're working on more techie rail tricks or trying to step up your jump game, I think you're gonna enjoy this one. Talk about carving and exploring as well. That was another area that was a big highlight for me with the Resort Twin, as you might expect, with that kind of being the intention of the design on this thing. A couple things I wanna highlight first off are the waist width you're gonna find. So at size 156, it runs a 25.8 centimeter waist, which is a little bit wider than your typical park twin. It's gonna make things like deeper, more aggressive carves and Euro carves a little bit more fun and approachable, alleviating that heel and toe drag a little bit. Also something to consider if you run a larger boot size might help you out. You're also gonna find a 7.9 meter side cut, which is a bit more of an all mountain side cut, but very versatile, gonna feel good at a wide variety of speeds, and I think fits well with the intention of this snowboard. But as far as the feel goes, I do think that you notice the reverse camber in the tips. It makes turn initiation very smooth, and it's very capable out there. It's a board that you can open up and let loose and take it up to higher speeds and still feel in control. You might find a little bit of chatter in those reverse camber zones, but I never got it to the point where I felt squirrely. You could potentially overpower it if you were really like free riding with this thing, but generally, even on like more variable chundry days, I think this board's gonna be very capable. Also wanna mention that death grip side cut on this thing. So that's that additional contact point right in the middle of the side cut. That's really gonna come in handy on those more firm or icy days, helping give this board a more confident feel, but also comes in handy as you're out there exploring more technical terrain or out in the alpine, where you might be pivoting a little bit more, and that extra contact point is gonna come more in handy. Overall, the biggest highlights for me with the Resort Twin are that lightweight feel you're gonna find in this thing, as well as the versatility. I wouldn't say that this is a board that's suited for beginners, but if you're like a more intermediate to high intermediate rider, I think that you'll have a great time on this thing. Obviously gonna be a very capable snowboard for more experienced and advanced riders as well. I'd say it's somewhat comparable to something like the DOA if you've ridden that snowboard before, but not quite as much energy, and it has a little bit more of an all mountain focus to it. So it's gonna be a little bit more fun for carving. It's a little bit more pressable and forgiving with that reverse camber you find in the tips. And it has that width that comes in handy in all kinds of scenarios as well. So if that sounds interesting to you, you're looking for a one board to do anything around the resort on any day kind of board, consider the Spring Break Resort Twin. I'm gonna have this thing linked down below if you wanna read more about it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching today. Let me know any questions you have down in the comments, and I'll see you in a new review soon. See you guys.